Hey guys, Eric with Retro Rides. I'm here with Max. Max is our upholstery guy in-house here, and we're gonna go over today a bunch of different things that he's working on right now, but most importantly, my Nomad stuff, because that takes priority over everything. Just kidding. So anyway, the upholstery was kind of done on that car, and actually that's what sold me on buying the car in the first place. I didn't have to touch the upholstery, and here we are, gutted all the upholstery. So
right back into it.
Right back into it. So we went with Grandma's choice here. We went with like a tooled gray kind of vinyl just to mix things up. I wanted something a little bit different, and I'm a weirdo. So then we went with gray vinyl on here too with some piping and Max, what kind of stitching is that? Is that French stitch or something?
We got a French stitch going on the side here. We got some welt cords separating between the inserts to the actual just plain gray. You can see that over here again on the, this is one of the kick panels right here. So we've got the square weave carpet on the bottom. We've got welt cord, the tooled leather look, and then the basic vinyl. We replace all of our paneling from the normal chipboard style that usually warps and takes all the water damage. We switch it to ABS plastic, and we do all push style clips. We do not do any screws that are shown. We try to hide all of the hardware. So we've got those poking through.
By the way, so
yeah.
Pet peeve of mine. Even though this is just a junky old wagon here, we want to do it to where it doesn't have a bunch of fasteners showing with the screw heads poking out. And like Max said, this one here is done with wood, but we've seen them done in cardboard and all sorts of weird stuff.
We've got all sorts of stuff. This is another one. This would have been out of the back of it on the wagon. But
yeah,
this
black
is a really,
mold, that's an option.
This is a really common thing with all of these where they take so much water damage from any leaky window or moisture buildup that they just get really nasty. And you can see the warpage and the cracking on these things, and they're just really nasty. And so swapping out with plastic prevents all of that for future wear and just makes it so the stuff will never show again.
We are wrapping all the original seat frames with burlap like they did back in the day. This one had a custom burlap wrap job.
Some good old
up for grabs. This is pinto beans.
Yeah, this is actually what came out of his wagon frame.
Yep.
So it's all, you can even see the moisture damage and everything that would have been in there from storage and over the years. So it's real nasty.
Real nasty. So yeah. Under there.
Otherwise, we're rebuilding all of the seat frames with new foam. So this is just an example of it. This is one of our topper pads that we put on, and then we cut it into strips, glue it down, and we sculpt the base. And so we make our whole seat frame underneath out of that right over the burlap. And then scrimmed, we do a laminated foam on these two rolls that are over here. We have two different thicknesses, and those go where the cover material goes right on top of it and then gets glued to it. And that helps smooth over any corners and any imperfections in the foam and make it all nice, smooth transitions, and kind of gives a little extra texture when you do things like tuck and roll here. So it actually makes it so it's a little bit more poofy in between and kind of gives it that little extra layer.
It gives it the pillow effect in there, which is nice.
Yeah, which just helps everything just look a little better. So even our sun visors get a little bit of scrim in there just to make it have a little extra give and shows the stitching a little bit more and makes it pop. Mm-hmm.
So on this one here on the stitching, we went with like a silver stitch that, kind of looks gray. I mean, maybe it's gray, I don't know.
It kind of like, when it's
dirty white.
It almost looks white here, but this is a really light gray, but when pushed against the rest, it makes it really pop and blend in with the welt cord really well over there.
Yep. So a bunch of different materials. This car here is mainly vinyl, but we have some leather stuff in here somewhere.
Yeah, we got a full leather hide right here.
Yeah, for another project coming up here. But
we even got doing some covers right now in leather underneath all this.
Yeah.
So we got a bunch of stuff going.
So depending on what pattern and that you go with, if you want factory look, that stuff's available. We ordered some locally from SMS for a 71 Dodge that we have, and
yeah, and so this just got made, and so it actually has the factory look. This is for a truck coming up, and so it has the regular vinyl with what would have been the center insert that you would have sat on right there. And so this was made specifically to match that truck, what would have factory been in it.
Pretty cool because it's an oddball fabric, but
yeah, you can't source that otherwise. So getting it manufactured that way is still readily available for most fabrics.
So we jumped into that project here a while back, and everything else is done on it, but we're waiting for this vinyl. So finally here.
It just showed up actually today.
Yeah, so, get the seats wrapped up in that thing and down the road in that truck as well. So
otherwise, we got loads of materials, and we got sample books that are behind the camera right now that you guys can take a look at if you ever did come in to get a project done.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff from Relicate and Apex and all that stuff. And so, yeah, just a easy little upholstery area in here that gets us through what we need to, but we're expanding, and a lot of that's based off of the jobs that, you know, what's required of it too. So just like out in the shop there with all the tooling and everything, we just expand based on needs. So right now this does everything we need to, but we're always looking into doing the next thing, and we have some cool stuff in the works as well. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I think that's about
in
it.
a nutshell,
Yeah.
Max Upholstery, right?
Yep.